Okay, I will walk you over the next, the second SAP Business Information Warehouse data extract, transformation and load assignments, where you have to create data source and you have to do information package load. Okay. So you have already have a info cube and you have to load it with data and use it for reporting in later exercises. Okay, so here basically it shows okay, now you can also look at it from the ETL slides, but here is a small representation of that, how to basically carry out the extraction, transformation and loading process. So you have to first select the source, which in our cases would be flat files. I'll give you 3 flat files with data in it. Okay, after that you have to create a data source, and in this assignment you will learn how to create a data source and then create the information package and then load data into the staging area. PSA is persistent staging area. Okay, and then you have to create the transformation to the data source object, data store object which is DSO. Okay, and then you create and start data transfer process to the data store object, and then you have to activate that data in the data store object, and then you have to create transformation to the data to the cube, and after that create and start data transfer process to cube. This is how the thing works. Okay, so we would load transactional data for reporting in 3 steps. From the source systems we will go to the persistent staging area, and then from PSA to the data store object, and then from data store object to the information cube. This is the path. This is what you have to remember: source to PSA, PSA to DSO, and then DSO to information cube. Okay, so I have given you the 3 files. From Blackboard you can see you have been given 3 files. One is called the bike company for Australia, the bike company for Germany, and the bike company for United States. And these 3 files will contain the data from Australia, Germany and United States. So I would ask you to download these files and save it to your My Documents. Okay, and the next thing what you have to do is you have to create a data source. Now to create a data source, first I have to log on to SAP, and then I would say RSA1. Okay, and RSA1 would take me to my info objects, and remember Lamar 2012, you have to find your info objects within that, and I will work with LU001. Okay, so I'll work with LU001. From here, since I'm creating a data source, I would have to go to data source. Okay, so I go to data source. Once again I make sure that I do not go anywhere else. I am under Lamar 2012 and this is my LU001. So I click on LU001, and then what I have to do is I have to right click, create data source, and in the data source I have to type in the root T1, my login number, and I have to select transaction data as the data type, data source. So this is what I'm going to do now. I will right click, create data source. I'm creating a data source, and then I will name it root, which is MU80 in our case, T1, and then my login, which is 01, and data type is transaction data, and I create my data source. Okay, so my data source is created. Now I have to put in the description. The description in the general information tab would be MU80, which is root, then T1, and login is 01 in my demonstration. So MU80 T1, then 01, and MU80 T1 01, MU80 T1 01. Okay, then I go to extraction. Okay, here I just make it capital, though I don't think it matters. In the extraction, you will see I have to show the file from where uh, I have to link it to the file. Other than that, what do I have to do? In the extraction tab, I have to select no DTP allowed for direct access, and then I have to choose the file name. I have to put in header rows 1, and I have to separate it with separator. I have to use that. So real time, okay, no DTP allowed for real access. This is what I have to do. Okay, now I have to do the file name. So I go here, my files are loaded in say my desktop, and I can take it from say this folder. Let me see where my files are. I can see Bike Company Australia. The first I use Bike Company Australia, then I say 1. Okay, data format I do separated with separator, and let's see any other changes I have to make. Choose direct entry for the number format. Okay, so I have to choose direct entry for the number format. Direct entry for the number format, and then leave the 1000 separators field blank and set the decimal separator as a comma. Decimal separator as a comma. Okay, anything else? No. Then I have to go to the proposal tab and load example data. I go to the proposal tab and I load example data. Okay, it's loading fine, and then I have to click on the fields tab and I have to do adjustments. The data type for the date fields, day, month and year need to be numeric value. Okay, so let me go to the fields tab, just say yes, and data type for year, month and day, and that has to be numeric. Okay, so NUMC, okay, NUMC here, and day, month and year is okay. I made these changes. Then what I have to do is the data type for revenue and discount must be set to currency. Okay, revenue and discount. So this is revenue. I have to change it to currency, and discount is I have to change it to currency. Okay, and then also have to add currency in the currency per unit column for these two fields. Okay, I have to find out the currency per unit column. Okay, here, and this is my revenue. See, it's not working, so I have to change it. See, check data source, no, display change data source, I have to click here, and then I can just do currency. So see you, okay, and I have to do currency here. Okay, and okay, check the figure below to make sure length and decimal place values are correct. Also check below to see if the format field must be changed to external. For these two. Okay, so I want to make sure the format field is external. For revenue and for discount, the format field is external, and also I need to check the length and decimal places. Okay, length and decimal is 17.2, 17.2. So here it is 17.2, 17.2. So I'm fine. And then what I'm asked is I have to take a screenshot after your changes are completed and paste it into a Word document. So my changes are completed, so I need to take a screenshot now. Okay, I take a screenshot and paste it in my Word document. That's going to be my screenshot number 1. Okay, now what I have to do is I have to save and activate my data source. So basically now I have a data source created after I do that. So I save it. Now I activate my data source. I just say yes. Okay, my data source is activated. Now I can preview the data. Okay, so read preview data. So okay, so now I have a data source created. Okay, now after this I have to go for creating 3 info packages. Okay, and load data into the PSA, which is my persistent staging area, and then check it. In order to do that, I have to right click on my data source and create info package. Okay, so I right click on my data source. Okay, right, let me go back. Sorry, this is my data source now, MU80T101. Remember, that's my data source. So I right click on that and I create info package. Okay, now in the info package description field I enter load AU into PSA root T1 AN. Okay, so load AU into PSA, load AU into PSA, and then root MU80 T101 in my case. Okay, MU80 T101, and then I save, and my info package will appear under data source. Okay, and then I have to save. So I save. You see, it has appeared under my data source, and I do save. Data saved successfully. Okay, then I have to click on the schedule tab. Make sure the start data load or immediately radio button is selected. Click the start button to execute the load into the staging area, and when the load has finished, you will see the data was requested message in the status bar at the bottom of your screen. Click next. Then click on the monitor icon to continue. So let's do that. I go to the schedule tab. Okay, make sure start data load immediately. I start. Data was requested, and then I have to do the okay. Next, click on the monitor icon to continue. And after the monitor icon, I have to do the PSA icon to view the data. So I do the monitor icon to continue. This is my monitor icon. This is my monitor icon. Okay, so I click on the monitor icon to continue, and here I have to click on my PSA icon. Okay, so I click on the PSA icon. Okay, sorry, I have to do the PSA maintenance from here. I have to do my PSA icon. So once I did that, in the PSA maintenance dialog box appear, and I select the first data package and click enter to continue. So I do the first data package and I click enter to continue. Okay, now I take a screenshot and paste it in the Word document. So this is my Word document and this is going to be my second screenshot. Okay, this is going to be my second screenshot, and then what I have to do is of your PSA load and paste it in your Word document. Okay, you should have 3 screenshots of this tape, one for Australia, one for Germany, and the one for US. So you may repeat these tapes to create info packages to load DE and US files as well. However, it is more convenient to use the copy function. So let's do that. Okay, right click on the load AU to PSA info package and select copy from the menu. So I go back, okay, and I go back further here. I right click on the load AU into PSA info package and I say copy. Okay, here I change AU to DE, right, because I'm doing the next one, AU to DE. Okay, and the rest should be the same, and then my here I get it copied. Okay, so I go to load DE into PSA, go to extraction and change the file. So instead of AU, now I will have DE. Okay, then what happens, let's see. After I do that, okay, I did that, and I have to basically follow the rest. So okay, 3 screenshots of this. So I have to go to PSA maintenance, right? So I'm here, I go to schedule, I start, data was requested, then I have to go to monitor, I think it's still working. Let me see. Okay, I have schedule. In the extraction everything is fine. I've loaded my data. Then I go to schedule, I start. Okay, data was requested. I go to monitor, and it's just taking me some time. After I get the monitor, I have to do the PSA. Okay, so after the monitor, then we have to click on the PSA maintenance button, and we click on that, and we get this, and then we highlight this first data number records, and then we enter, and you see I got the data for Germany loaded, and this is my third screenshot. Okay, third screenshot. I have to do it again for United States. So in order to do that, I'll go back and load data. I will copy this, and so I'll do that. Right click, I'll copy, and instead of DE I will just use US. Okay, and then I run it, and then I go to schedule. No, go to extraction. I change the file from DE to US, and then I go to schedule. I start. Data was requested. Then I do monitor. Okay, when I click on the the last one inside the PC file, I get to see the PSA maintenance button. I click on that, I choose that, and then I get to see the data for the US. So now I'm done. I have created the data source. Now go back here and you see you have created the data source, which is MU802101. Within that you have created the info package, and you have loaded data into that. Okay, so your assignment ends here.